what are you seeing in the industry right now among database developers, architects, and decision makers in terms of interest in the graph data model and graph databases in particular? And what are you seeing in the industry right now in terms of graphs? Do you think it's starting to pick up or not? And what do you have to share here?
So your question, which is what's going on with graph today? So, well, since 2018, there's been lots of water that has, flown out under the bridge, basically. So it went a bit like this. So initially, I think it was 2019 when it was like the first time that graph was actually included in Gartner's Hype Cycle. And that was, like the official, okay, graph is a thing now. And you know what happens, obviously, when you get into the hype cycle. So you go up all the way up until, the peak of inflated expectations. And then, there's like this down, it's all downhill, at least for a while. And then things stabilize. So I think we're kind of a little bit still in the downhill phase right now. So, that the tech industry in general has seen some rough times. There was this boom in funding and then a little bit of bust. There were tech layoffs. Graph industry has not been unaffected by any of that. It had its fair share. But overall, things are looking good. And to back this up in terms of numbers, I went into the trouble of actually looking up what the graph market was like in 2018 and what it's like today. So in 2018, according to people who have these numbers, the graph market, the graph database market specifically, because there's other adjacent markets as well, but the graph database market specifically was supposed to worth something like $700 million. And today, it's supposed to be around $2.5 billion. So that's something like 4 times up within 5 years. It's pretty good. I mean, yeah. It started small, but it's growing, not exactly exponentially, but actually it's growing the way people forecasted that it would. You had all this Cambrian explosion of NoSQL databases, and initially Graph was, just another NoSQL flavor, basically, and the newcomer, and people were not familiar with it and what it can do. But I think what's really powering its growth is the fact that, well, okay, obviously, we have more data every year and all of that stuff. That point has been talked over and over again. But what's interesting is that not so much that we have more data, but people get to realize that, well, it's not actually the volume of your data that matters so much, it's the connections. And graph is the best way that you can leverage connections, and that's what's fueling growth.